I just do what I want, or I don't do it. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to things, but if I have a vision, I have to follow that vision, and at whatever cost. I first vowed to myself that I would be an artist, or at least follow a calling within the arts when I was 12. My father took us to an art museum in Philadelphia, and I saw Picassos for the first time. And when I saw these Picassos, I don't even know what came over me, but I was so transfixed, and I felt that's what I want to do. I want to do that, whatever that is. It didn't mean that I wanted to paint like Picasso. It just meant to give myself to this kind of vocation. And it changed my life. I mean, I was still the same kid, same skinny, lanky, clumsy kid who just read all the time and liked to run through the fields with her dog. But in my head, I had a new profound joy that I was going to pursue this world. And it wasn't just that I was going to go toward it. I really felt like it called to me. It was really beautiful moment. When I was younger, I would lose confidence, or sometimes I would feel, shy or misunderstood or self-conscious. And when I met Robert Mapplethorpe when I was 20, he had let me just put it more simply. Robert always believed he was an artist. He knew he was an artist. It was almost revealed to me, or in some strange way, when I was 12. But he was born knowing he was an artist. He just knew it. And he had total confidence who he was, what his vision was. And whenever I faltered, he would come to my rescue, but also scold me. He really insisted that I, strengthen my spine as he did, and know myself, know my vocation as he did. And now, whenever I falter a bit, I go back to when I was 20. Robert gave me real confidence in myself, and it's still there. I have a bunch of them, but one of mine is simply do good work. Do good work. I didn't really have blowouts with my record president, who was Clive Davis. He would just point me in a direction he thought would give me more success. But he always stepped back and let me take the path I wanted to take. And it didn't always make him happy, but he gave me that room. I mean, there's no point having a blowout. I just do what I want, or I don't do it. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to things, but if I have a vision, I have to follow that vision, and at whatever cost. I was aware that being a female in some ways was a detriment, but for me, it wasn't so much that I was a female. It was the fact that I was such a weird one, and I didn't really fit in, even in sometimes the female world. And that's why I always used to say that I was beyond gender. But I didn't let anybody intimidate me. I just realized that some things still needed work. We needed to make breakthroughs. And for me, the way to break through is to follow your vision. And if it costs you a bit of fame and fortune, so be it. If people just search their conscience, every individual, every corporation, and really understood that they could do better, that they could make things better, but they have to sacrifice. It's all down to sacrifice. At this point, all down to sacrifice. And we all have to sacrifice. The worst performance for me has been when I've lost my voice. I actually had laryngitis or lost my voice once in Sweden. It happened once in Buffalo, New York. And I'm so stubborn that instead of stopping the concert, because I never stopped them, I was trying to sing and I couldn't sing. And thankfully the people did sing somewhat, but it taught me I'll never do that again, because you just have to own up to it and not destroy your voice and not to give people less. But I just love contact with the people and to give them, some experience, some transporting experience. And it was a little difficult with having lost my voice. Well, I don't have hardly any social media, but my daughter, Jessie, suggested that I start an Instagram because there were so many people that used my name and were actually pretending to be me and talking to people and making them feel like I was calling them personally and then perhaps asking them for money. So my daughter said that I should open one myself, and I didn't know anything about the format, but I thought, okay, you say a few words, you show a picture. I take pictures almost every day. So I started it, and I liked it. My daughter was my first follower. Now I have, I don't know, over 1 million, and I don't know how that happened, but I like the idea of just showing an image. It could be my cat, it could be a picture of Arthur Rimbaud, it could be, us performing live, or some really breathtaking landscape, or the women of Iran. Whatever it is, it's a nice way to communicate directly with people. And during the pandemic, it was really great because I was supposed to tour. I had a world tour, and of course it was canceled. And it gave me a way to stay in touch with people all over the world who I really didn't know. Social media can be a positive tool. It can help connect people during elections. There's many, many good things about social media, but it's also, as we all know, destructive and bullying and filled with misinformation. And it's also taking people away from reading, daydreaming. I mean, people are overly occupied with it and give too much importance to it. But it also has its positive side, and I try to stay in touch with its positive side. And otherwise, I have my books.